My name is Derisa Grant. I am a PhD student at Stanford University. I have an undergraduate degree from Harvard University and a master's degree from the University of Chicago. I've been teaching with Shin Shin for about 2 years now, teaching their critical reading and writing section of the SAT test. And I've worked with students who are scoring not very well on the test and need to improve significantly. I've also worked with students who have very high scores and just need to go up a few points. So it's never too early to start preparing for the SAT. The SAT isn't testing them on what they're learning in school. Yes, the things that they learn in school will be helpful in taking the SAT, the text that they read and their ability to write grammatically correct and interesting essays will help them, but ultimately the SAT is testing a different set of skills. So one of the things that students need to go into the SAT understanding is that no matter how well they do in school, the SAT requires its own preparation and its own practice. So one of the first things I would actually suggest students do is I would suggest that they begin reading texts that they would not normally read in school. These include things like The New Yorker, The Economist, The Nation, difficult texts that are often borrowed from and adapted for the SAT because they want to become familiar with the language and the vocabulary used in those texts, as well as the ability, they want to gain the ability to work through those texts and think thoughtfully about what the texts are asking. The second thing I would suggest that students do is learn vocabulary. There are a series of words that the SAT tends to use. You can either get these words from looking online. There are a lot of lists available online of favorite words from the SAT, or looking through past SAT tests. You'll begin to see a pattern of certain words that reappear over and over again. So that's something I would strongly recommend. Granted, vocabulary doesn't help on all sections of the test, but with the critical reading and especially with the sentence completion sections, vocabulary matters. The other thing I would suggest students do is begin to write a lot. Write essays in which they have clear introductions, clear examples that support their theses. Because what the SAT cares about in the writing section is they care about the ability to support an argument. So if a student can develop the ability to have a clear thesis and support that argument with clear, well thought out examples, that student will be miles ahead in terms of the essay portion of the SAT.